Welcome to the mock ICJ preliminary hearing on Artsakh, sovereignty, and eduside for the 2026-2027 instructional cycle. This simulation, presented by the Armenian Bar Association and the World Affairs Council of Austin, examines the legal status and existential rights of the Republic of Artsakh. The premise, Beyond the Silence, the Reality of Sovereignty, addresses the core challenge facing the Republic of Artsakh, a global lack of awareness regarding its established legal identity and independence. Artsakh is an independent nation with its own government, constitution, and legal identity. In September 2023, the Republic of Artsakh was invaded by Azerbaijan. This resulted in the rapid and forced displacement of its entire ethnic Armenian population. The offensive ended the region's de facto independence, forcing over 130,000 people to flee their ancestral homes. Our legal argumentation focuses on forced removal as genocide. The removal of Artsakh's citizens constitutes genocide under the 1948 UN Convention. This fulfills the criteria for systematic group destruction, including forced displacement, and the erasure of cultural and political identity, which is also known as eduside. The forced transfer of Artsakh citizens to Baku for trial is an illegal transfer. This action violates international legal standards and humanitarian protections, including international humanitarian law and the Geneva Conventions. It also violates protections against political persecution. Charging Artsakh leaders under Azerbaijani domestic law violates international legal principles of sovereignty and jurisdictional competence. Artsakh's de facto statehood means Azerbaijan lacks the extraterritorial authority to prosecute leaders for governing their own territory. Their actions were performed under the Republic of Artsakh's legitimate constitutional authority. Azerbaijan's claim to Artsakh is based solely on a 1922 Soviet administrative decision, not on history, sovereignty, or international law. The incorporation into the Azerbaijan SSR was an internal Soviet administrative act, not a grant of international sovereignty, leaving a clear legal void. The historical context surrounding 1922 is crucial. The USSR gained control after the Treaty of Sèvres was never implemented, creating a political vacuum. The non-implementation of the 1920 treaty left the South Caucasus vulnerable to Soviet expansionism. The shutdown of the Ottoman Parliament on March 16, 1920, effectively sabotaged the diplomatic path for the Treaty of Sèvres. By dissolving the legitimate body required for approval, the Allies ensured the treaty remained a, quote, dead letter, creating a deliberate power vacuum. Because the Ottoman Parliament was dissolved, the Treaty of Sèvres became moot. The legal framework for international recognition collapsed before it could be formalized, rendering the agreement legally unenforceable and merely a symbolic gesture. This was Allied knowledge, a calculated void. The Allied powers proceeded with diplomacy, knowing the legal mechanisms for ratification had been dismantled, ensuring total control over the post-war order and resulting in a unilateral dictation of terms. The Declaration of September 2, 1991, marked Artsakh's independence. This ended 7 decades of Soviet administration and reasserted sovereignty as the USSR collapsed. Both Artsakh and Azerbaijan independently invoked their legal right to declare statehood. Before the administrative shifts of 1922, Artsakh maintained a profound Armenian identity spanning over 2 millennia. This includes ethnic and religious continuity, a linguistic heritage where the Armenian language was primary, and a persistent cultural dominance. Recent U.S. political endorsements of Armenian leadership have implications. There are appeasement concerns that diplomatic signals favor Azerbaijani interests, leading to territorial vulnerability and intensifying long-term threats to Armenia's independence. This case matters because it requires navigating the complex intersection of law, history, and survival. It offers students geopolitical mastery and deep engagement with legal foundations. Ultimately, this mock trial is a mission to restore historical justice. Eduside is defined as the deliberate rewriting of history to reshape political outcomes. Artsakh serves as a modern example of this erasure, involving both historical erasure and political tooling. Legal education is vital for effective advocacy. Students must master precise legal frameworks, including treaty law, ICJ procedures, self-determination criteria, and international humanitarian law to advocate for historical truth. In the mock trial phase, students assume the roles of legal counsel for the ICJ preliminary hearing. They will argue critical procedural and substantive issues such as jurisdiction, provisional measures, violations of international law, and the legal status of Artsakh. The core learning objectives of this project empower students with critical tools. These include analyzing complex evidence, challenging false narratives, understanding geopolitical strategy, and advocating for global justice to defend historical truth. The 2026-2027 Armenian Bar mock trial is a call to action for the next generation. It is a defining opportunity to educate through rigorous analysis, advocate for international justice, preserve truth, and empower future leadership. If not now, when?